The fintech layout in Kenya and in East Africa is quite vibrant. I personally think it is a world-class ecosystem. The reason I say this is one of the things we've done as Alternative Circle is we've traveled around the world trying to pick little tricks and ideas from ecosystems that are perceived to be best in class. So San Francisco, London, China, Singapore. Spend a lot of time in Singapore, for example. And every time I come back, it shocks me how much better we are at doing so many things, right? Payments is one of the big ones. Everyone always talks about M-Pesa. What people don't talk about is that M-Pesa created skill sets within the Kenyan market that are not available in most parts of the world, and therefore Kenyans could be the best in payments, for example. When it comes to digital lending, another first for Kenya. Because of the friendlier regulatory framework we have in this market, we have been able to build experiences that you would never have been able to build in different markets. And what is happening now is that you're starting to have differentiation within digital lending products. The big misconception particularly from Western companies or investors or whatever about digital lending is they think it's a payday loan, because in their ecosystem the payday loan is a desperate loan. In the Kenyan ecosystem we're starting from scratch. We have no credit cards, we have no credit scores, and therefore the first time most Kenyans are getting credit, right, from a financial institution is through the smartphone. And so this is the same thing like moving from telecom lines, the fixed line, to mobile, right? This is the same thing but happening in financial services, and that's the big disconnect. So financial inclusion is happening because of the fintech space. And I think the other thing that's helping the ecosystem is digital platforms are creating trust, right? Because trust has been missing in the marketplace. I want to buy something of someone, but I've never met them, right? In a lot of Western markets, for example, you can do that very easily. In this part of the world, you're a bit skeptical because we live in a low trust society. And what digital and fintechs are doing is they're creating a layer of trust that is digitized. And this has never been there before. We formed the Digital Lenders Association of Kenya for a very simple reason. We are a young industry. We're a misunderstood industry. We have players in our market that are trying to do bad things, right? Just like any other industry, right? So we came together, a bunch of us, and the objective was to not only set a basic standard to protect the consumer, because we want to uplift our consumers, right? And the perception that we're trying to make money or be predatory to our consumers is completely false. But to say that it is false across the industry is also not true. So how do we manage those elements within the industry that are, in the market to take advantage of people? And so consumer protection was the main reason we formed Digital Lenders Association of Kenya. The second thing was we needed one entity to be able to engage with the regulatory framework that exists in this market. You can't go to government as Alternative Circle, right? But I can go to government and say, we as the digital lending industry, these are the problems we're facing. This is how we can help you. These are the way we think you can tax us. This is how we think you should best regulate us. Because we also have insights that the regulator may not have insights to. And so it was a point of contact for a lot of the arms of government. And when you're in finance, as you can imagine, you're dealing with a lot of risk when it comes from a government point of view. Money laundering, why are you getting this money you're lending? Fleecing customers. I have a constituency saying that you've blacklisted them and they can't get loans now for their fertilizer. Is it true? Is it false? There's another misconception in the market that we fund people who want to bet, right? That one always shocks me, because why would anyone want to lose money? Right? If you're lending money to somebody who's betting, you're just poor at risk management, and therefore you should not even be lending. Right? But the regulator, or the perception of the government and the ecosystem, is that we are fueling these bad habits. And so we wanted to have this point of contact where anyone with an issue can come and say, Digital Lenders Association, we have this problem with you. Right? And as an industry, we listen and see, do we have a problem? And if we do, how do we fix it? But we fix it as an industry, which will have a greater impact, rather than as a single company which barely has teeth. Even it doesn't matter how big my balance sheet is. If I do it alone, it will be perceived that I have a particular agenda. If we did it as an industry, it's just more credible. And that's why we formed the Digital Lenders Association of Kenya. I'd like to be categorical when it comes to the central bank and the governor. We support him. He's in charge of the policy when it comes to monetary policy. I think as Alternative Circle in particular, we want to be regulated. The reason I think we need to be regulated is there is certain protections that come with regulation, even for the company, right? And so for me, particularly in a high-risk business like digital lending, I wouldn't mind certain protections to be in place. When you speak of draconian regulation, the Central Bank of Kenya has precedence of being fair, right? Only in Kenya could M-Pesa be tested. We have a thing, M-Pesa came through a thing called light touch regulation. I don't think the central bank governor wants to come and take away our business. I think what he wants to do is manage the risks that come because of our business, right? And the fact that we are mass market product means we are affecting the general population of Kenya. So it is his job to protect them. So he's just doing his job, right? And what we are saying as Digital Lenders Association and as Alternative Circle is we support him, because it is our objective to protect the consumer as well. So we are not against regulation. And I don't think that the regulation will be draconian, because our regulator has shown us before that he is not draconian and is quite fair in how they manage and approach issues. So that would be my